Hi, and welcome back. Today we're going to talk a little bit about how I plan to attack this debt. And you know, I took some time over the past week to kind of sit and think about it and think about what I should do. Should I just go ahead and handle the highest interest rate first, or should I go ahead and handle the smallest debt first? And so I kind of just decided to start with the smallest first. And I'll tell you why in a second. And I'm actually just going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit so you can see. So basically, I'm going to go ahead and start off with Mr. Easy Peasy right here. I mean, if you think about it, this is the smallest one. There's not any additional interest on this loan, so I can start paying directly toward the principal. I can start paying the principal down as much as I have been. That's good. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to still, and let me move this down a little bit. I'm going to still pay on these ones, obviously, because these are still due, but I really want to try to take advantage of the fact that there's zero interest accumulating on these loans and really see if I can start knocking some of these out. And then, you know, whenever this administrative forbearance ends on those student loans, and we can kind of reroute and, you know, just like take it from there. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes we reroute, sometimes we redirect, and that's okay. But I think the plan, and let me actually get a sheet of paper and I'm going to turn the page real quick. I'm going to zoom you out. But I think the plan, I'm going to take a second and kind of think about what that's going to look like. And I'm going to make it on this page here. So I was kind of thinking about this one a few different ways. I thought maybe I could just take what I have left after paying the minimums on those debts we mentioned again down here that don't have that administrative forbearance, and then whatever's left over I can put toward Mr. Easy Peasy, which I think that's what I'm going to do. I don't know how long I'm going to do it for. I don't know if maybe I can pull more out of my budget a little bit later on in the month, if that makes any sense. Because I might be able to. Maybe I spend less on my consumable things, or maybe I get a little bit extra on my paycheck because I end up working a little bit of overtime. I might be able to pay this off easier, you know, easier. So I think my goal for this actual debt in March is I'm going to go ahead and put $200 toward this. Okay. Toward my loan. And if there's extra, then I can just, you know, add more to it. But I think $200 right now is a good start, because if I put $200 toward this loan, it's not accumulating any debt. I can go ahead and knock that off. And so like the next month, we'll go into April, I only owe $290.05. I think that'll be good. And if I can pull anything else, like pull anything else out of my budget, I will. I think the first half of March, my first paycheck, I had a little bit left over, but I wasn't sure if I was going to get glasses or not. I wasn't sure if there would be any additional expenses, but I think what I'm going to do is basically once I get through these 2 weeks and I find that either one, you know, I spend less money, or two, that extra I got from my paycheck that I didn't spend is there for me, I think that I will just go ahead and throw extra at it. So let's just go ahead and say, throw any extra at this debt. And, you know, I've really been trying to sit down with myself and think like, is there anything else I can do with my budget? Is there anything I can like kind of change a little bit? And I've kind of been having some trouble, and I kind of wonder if maybe I don't need to save as much as I have been saving. And we'll go back, right? Let's go back to this paycheck budget, right? That I made at the beginning of the month. So I'm going to zoom you in. All right, I'm going to zoom you in here, and you can kind of see where I've been saving here for like my future and any additional emergencies. I'm just starting to wonder if I'm already kind of saving these quote unquote sinking funds for things that kind of throw me for a loop, and I already have a substantial amount in my savings that I can access and it's liquid money. Do I need to keep saving this? Can I pause this but still save in my sinking funds for those things that do throw me for a loop that I want to make sure I don't get back into habits for? Can I just keep doing this and then throw this extra $504 toward the student loan stuff? And that's a bit tricky because it's like, I could do that, but then what if something happens? But if something happens, then I mean, I already have that money saved for when something happens. And if something happens and it's a substantially large amount, then I can just go ahead and use that money. And then if I need to come back later and start saving up again, then I've kind of laid a foundation for myself in my budget to be like, hey, you know, let's divert then. Let's not put this 504 towards my debt. We can keep putting the extra that we're putting toward it anyway. But, you know, let's go back to building back up the emergency / future fund. And then once it reaches a considerable number, then I can just go ahead and stop and then divert this money back to my student loan debt. I don't know, I'm just having a lot of trouble about it. And I'm thinking, you know, maybe I just need to push myself a little bit more, which is hard. It's hard because, you know, you really think everything's going to be okay, and then something happens and it kind of pushes you back a little bit. But I kind of have to remind myself that that's the purpose of the work that I put into the emergency fund that I have now. It's for emergencies, and that money, if I keep throwing in there, it's okay. You know, it's going to get to a certain point where it's like, yeah, you have this money, but like you also have this debt, and like it's not serving you to keep throwing it in your emergency fund. If you have such a large amount of debt, you probably should put it toward that. So I've just been having some trouble with that, you know? I mean, does anyone else have trouble with that? I mean, I'm not saying like have trouble sleeping at night, but like maybe. But I think I am kind of on the right track. We're throwing this extra 200 at this actual loan here. It's gonna put me in a better place. But it would be great if I could throw more at it. Like if I could just pay this off by the end of this month, like it would be like poof, you know what I mean? Like poof, be gone. Like, and then I would just move on to the next one. So, you know, I think that, I don't know, maybe I might get too excited and then I'll be like, let's just stop all of this and pay this one off this month. But I don't know. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. So since I've kind of already decided to hit up easy peasy, I'm going to go ahead and mark this one here as the first one to handle. So it's set in stone now. Now I have to do it. But I think I'm only going to do a couple of these, like make a plan for some of them and then reevaluate. You know, maybe something happens and I can't put as much as I want to, and maybe they're just, you know, maybe the administrative forbearance doesn't go on as long as they say that it will, though I don't know why I would do that. Maybe they keep extending it, and so I just decide to attack the higher debts, like the ones down here. But, you know, I don't know. I mean, things could change. But I think I've set myself up in a good place right now, at least, because now I know how I want to handle it, at least for March. So in this box, I'm going to go ahead and mark what, I'm just going to go ahead and put kind of like estimated amount toward the debt. right here, and I can write it down here, and then I'll put actual, right? Because things could change before the end of the month, so I forgot to put the word toward, and that's okay. We can go ahead and fix that. Okay, so I'll say estimated amount toward debt in March. And this will kind of be my page for easy peasy. I kind of write out what I did and what I actually put toward it and what I didn't put toward it. So we'll check in on this page a little bit later. So I think I'm going to talk a little bit about the second one I'm going to go toward. So the next one that I think I'm going to go ahead and attack is next in line. I think that's probably, because I named it that way. That's perfect. I'm going to go ahead and attack this one. That'll be the second one that I attack. I feel like that's a good plan too. I mean, it's the lowest one. And I think for me personally, at least at the beginning of this whole thing, it's going to be better for me to get these like easy wins versus just chugging away, like hitting this, hitting this, hitting this, hitting this, and then not really seeing it go away, you know, especially when we get to the ones that are like 6,000, you know, it's going to take a while for me to knock that down unless I got $6,000 to put toward it. I don't think I do. So, but we'll see. The second one is what we'll do. And I mean, I'll go ahead and write out the second page really fast for you. Hi, so we kind of decided that we will go with the next loan called Next in Line, and that loan has a total amount of $1,231.99, I believe. Yes, 99 cents. So because we haven't really figured out how to gear this one, I don't want to put here that I'm going to go ahead and take care of it in April. I mean, I just don't know, but I guess we could just roll over the other one and then we'll see from there. But at least we kind of have an idea of what loan we're going to handle. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to handle this loan, then I'm going to handle the next loan. So cool. But anyways, thank you for watching. Clearly I had a little mix up, and that's okay. You have a great day. You know, give me a like if you liked it. Comment down and just let me know kind of like what you would do, or if you think this is the right track. Yeah, but thank you so much and have a great day.